part of what you said earlier about people maturing out of certain situations.
Right.
Part of mega stars not being able to work out is because they live the lifestyle, like they get turned out by the industry, whatever industry they're in, on their way up. So it's hard for some of them to come back down and just be level-headed.
Right.
And I think that's probably why a lot of the push out there, like all of the live type of shows that we see in the hip hop, the love of hip hop, that's what's being pushed out there. But we just need to focus, or when I say we don't have that much control, but just as a community, focus on some of the positive role models that are out there.
Right.
I do. Even I mentioned this couple. They still have a little tinge of mess with them, but I actually applaud Offset and Cardi B for what they're able to go through in their marriage as hip hop artists. Right. The fact that where both of them came from.
Is it? I'm gonna say this. I think that's too recent of a situation.
No, I know. I'm saying we know where both of them came from.
Exactly.
They came together, and they had the tinge of the mess in there. But the fact that they were still worked through that rough patch. Right. He did what he had to do to make sure that he kept her. Right. And then they're able to show that two black people can get together, get married, raise a family, still be artists.
I'm laughing because I think that it's sad, but I'm just going to be honest. I think that too many people are watching for the downfall of that relationship. Like, well, when is it going to happen? Like, just, and that's a shame.
Almost already happened.
Right. It's just a shame that we look at certain things now with an expectation of failure. Right. And especially when it comes to younger people or celebrities or certain people getting together, we look at like what I saw with Jada and Will. To me, that's failed. Like that, to me, that's failed. I mean, that's that people that look up to you as a power couple, that whatever mess is happening with that is not working. And Jay-Z and Beyonce, I look at that as a successful marriage. And this is the reason why. There's a lot that I've heard, a lot that we actually saw when that whole attack happened with Jay-Z and Solange and all of that stuff happened, and the reasons behind it supposedly, and a lot of admission from Jay-Z that he had to mature, he had to understand, how this is supposed to work and understand himself, and his past shouldn't dictate his future and different things of that nature. I think they are trying to get together and grow their empire, right? And I think they understand that the empire, the kids, all of that stuff is important. Whether he sneaks out and does whatever, I don't know, but it shouldn't be something that we see played out in front of us. Certain things, for the sake of its existence, should remain sacred. It should be out of the public eye. But I just look at that as successful. I'm not saying that Offset and Cardi B is not. And I applaud them for doing as much as they can to hang on. But I think that there is a chance that if we just rewire our thinking concerning certain things, you can probably be in an industry. If you want to be in an industry and survive, you can be in an industry. I mean, I remember I was just watching something where Bun B said that he was on, he's on a track, one of Beyonce's tracks, and they were shooting a video. And, Bun B, rappers travel with their entourages and their crew, whatever the case may be. So all of them was up there. And, Jay, they she had on a skirt, whatever. We said we were looking at her, but he said we weren't looking at her like, I mean, she's fine. That's his woman, but we wasn't like gawking too much. We were like, wow, she's Beyonce. Look at how she dancing, da. So he had called down there, right? And this is what I respect about Jay, because, if you have something precious, you got to protect it. He's like, yo, yeah, is B there? Boom. He said, yeah, he's there. He said, how many people was there? He said, nah, it's about 9 dudes here. I said, word? He said, he said his wife, is she there? He said, yeah, she's doing whatever. He said, what she got on? And they described what she got on. He said, yo, they got to bounce. And they bounced, right? He said, she had came into his room, apologized, and then he explained, like, you got to protect that. And maybe that's a New York mentality, that's a Brooklyn thing. that it's like, okay, regardless of what I do, mine, if that's mine, that's mine. I'm not gonna, I don't care how she look. That's like, I'm not gonna have her out there, whatever. And to me, you may look at that as him being somewhat chauvinist, whatever, but sometimes the mentality of, especially when you come up in the streets, you protect what's yours. If it's your boy, it's your friend, it's your money. If it's your woman, if that's yours and you value it, you know, because there's times where I know that he probably had women that, hey, you know, I'm not with her no more. This is what it is. But if you value her, then you take a different approach with dealing with her, you know. But back to Jada and Will, you know, as I said, I think that, you know, I'm proud of what Will was able to accomplish in his career. You know, I think he just, you know, made a good transition from rapping to acting. And I think he's a hell of an actor. I think he's one of the best actors out there. And, you know, I think just the whole aspect of having their family on display. And this is not to even take away from Jada, you know, what she was able to accomplish in her career. But
what did she accomplish?
Wow. I should say she was always an actress.
Yeah, that's her claim to fame.
Right. She has
But what has she done? You know, like I seen her in a movie. Yeah, I seen her in a movie lately. What was that movie?
That was Angel Has Fallen.
Right. She was FBI agent.
She got shot.
I mean, what we remember her is for classic hood movies.
Right.
Classic hood movies. Menace to Society.
Woo.
Right.
Set It Off.
Right.
So I think she's made her mark.
I mean, she made her mark, but
she's not her husband. Just not taking away from her in any way, shape, or form. But I think Will just, the way he hones his craft is a little bit different. Right? She just think is a hell of an actor. He was in Ali. Well, she was in Ali as well. Couple. Do you think these things make they destroy the dynasty? Because, you know, I think he has the majority of the launch of the money, but, you know, he got son that is trying to build his career. I don't know where his daughter's at now, but I think he was trying to build something with them as well. But I think they were just trying to build like their personal empire, you know. And even with her Red Table Talk, I think it's still a powerful medium to get across to people. But do you think that this is like, now people won't see them the same? Everything else before was speculation. Because, you know, you heard this here and there, whatever, but we had no evidence, right? But this is an obvious issue. Do you think that their empire has fallen?
You want me?
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about Black Hollywood, I agree with Jay and Beyonce. I think that's successful. They went through their rocky times, but they've been together long. I mean, they've been together
for a while now, yeah.
For like over 15 years, I believe.
Right.
They've been together, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, before they got married, they were together. So that's pretty solid and successful. And I think Jay, you know, is mature. You can see like he's on a different level right now. A relationship that, well, I've heard them say it, Monique and her husband, that they have an open relationship, an open marriage. Right. So now when we start getting to things like that, that destroys the fabric of what marriage is supposed to be, and what in Black communities we need to see more. Which is an authentic marriage, not this Hollywood, you know, drama type of marriage that other folks live. I believe that if you're a Black actor, if you're a Black singer, that you should be an example. That you should be a good example for those who come up behind you and for those who are trying to achieve. Denzel been married with his wife for years. I believe Samuel Jackson been married with his wife for years. Those are good. Now, like you said, we don't know what's happened, but that's never come out.
Exactly.
It's never been out there. It's never been something that's been a scandal. I think Will and Jada going through what they going through is definitely a black eye on iconic couple.
Right.
That regardless of the rumors that we heard, there were never.
Right.
You couldn't put solidify that and say that happened.
Right.
But now with this,
it's out there.
Yeah, because the guy said that he gave him his blessing.
Right.
So now we have to look at it from that angle. Do we believe he's lying when he said that?
Right.
That Will gave him his blessing? Right? So are we going to feel sorry for Will?
Right.
And the guy is saying Will gave him his blessing?
Interesting.
So those are all the things we got to think of. It's definitely a black eye. I was disappointed. I'm still disappointed. And I believe that you can never look at that the same again.
Right.
Never look at that the same.
The only problem with what you just said in terms of the worldview is it takes a certain mature eye to really see it like that.
Mm.
Whereas most of the world, what I'm seeing on social media, people that I don't know personally, that people I know personally, is that actually people are upset with August. I'm talking about people older than us. They're upset with him because they're like...
How could they be upset with him? She's old enough to be his mother.
But they're saying, we live in an era of side piece. And in this era of side piece, you're supposed to keep your mouth shut. So a lot of people are upset with him for actually bringing it out.
I get where you're going with that. Yeah.
Right, so...
Your
statement is very mature, but I can see the
that's part of the issue.
Right. Because
he was psychologically unfit.
Right.
And she knew that. I'm not part of the issue with people like, oh, she's a cheeky woman, she do what she want to do, and he cheated first, whatever the case may be. He was psychologically, this is what's happening because he's psychologically unfit to deal with something. He was already emotional, psychological wreck. And then you brought more drama into it. So, and I hear that part.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what a lot of people, you hear more of that than like what Uzziel just said in terms of just the actual moral standpoint of things. People like, so all it takes is for Will to do one good movie, Jada to continue doing red table talk, and everybody's gonna forget about that.
Right.
I mean, in essence,
yeah, we get that.
Yeah, my mind is compartmentalized regarding his career, red table talk, and their relationship now. But if I see them on a runway together, it's not going to be the same.
It's not going to be the same.
It's going to be, if I see the family taking a picture or whatever,
it's going to look fake.
It's going to look unreal.
Right.
Everything that you saw there, you can tell that there was something that was obviously upset. If he has to go and say, tell him what happened, Jada, tell him what, I got into an entanglement. This is entanglement meaning, like, he had to bring it out. Relationship? And she said, yeah, relationship. And the reason why is because I is like, okay, regardless of what happened, this is not the time for justification, right? Whatever y'all agreed to, a party's upset in a situation, that means something didn't go right, right? And the very fact that you're up here talking about it means that you kind of know that this thing didn't go right, but you're still trying to defend your action. Like, he called it a transgression. She says, I don't think it was a transgression. So obviously there wasn't a blessing in that process. I'm not saying he's a liar. Yeah, in his mind, the blessing that he gave wasn't for that.
Right? I didn't hear it, but August apparently made a diss track towards Will. I didn't hear it yet, though.
What?
As a side note. But
this is like recently?
2 days ago. But as a side note.
So that's what I'm saying. He's not rap tight anyway. If he's doing that, like, why make a diss track towards Will?
And Will is an actor. I mean,
right.
For all I know, sitting down at that table crying.
Right.
Actors know how to pull up tears and.
Yeah, but there were people that were analyzing his body language, and there were things that he was doing.
Like, felt like he wanted to leap across the table.
Exactly. They showed defensive things that he was doing with his hand. He pulled up his sleeve. Like, they just showed his body language.
What was that, like FBI?
No, there's people that they study this for a living, right? They study to see whether you are in defense mode, whether you're angry when you're talking. There were certain things that Jada was doing. Like, sometimes they were saying certain statements and they weren't looking each other in the eye, or she wasn't looking them in the eye. So there's certain statements that they were making, they were analyzing that, you can tell that he was visibly upset about certain things. He talked to his chief a couple of times, mad, and they said that sometimes he says some stuff where he was pulling back some of the words he was trying to say because they wasn't going to come out too right. It was all types of stuff that people are analyzing, and they did it more than once. It's not people that conspired to say that, okay, we're all going to come together and say the same thing. Everybody that did it, regardless of what, they're analyzing the same issue. So, to me, it didn't sit well.
To me, I'm gonna tell you, from the few clips that I saw, it seemed like she's the alpha in the relationship. Now I could be wrong because I've just seen a few clips. I didn't see the entire. How long was it? Like a 30-minute talk?
It wasn't even 30 minutes. I think it was close to probably 30 minutes, like something like either 17 or I forgot, but it wasn't that long. Her table talks are usually much longer than that, but they addressed the issue and it went off. But I didn't get alpha from her. I got brat.
That's what you got.
I got brat. I got like because he felt like he was going to do, because he started saying stuff like, I'm gonna get you back. And my mind, I'm like, why would you say that? Right? Even that's not even something that you joke with, because y'all are in a serious situation right now. Right. Like you're trying to address. You broke up. She had a relationship during the breakup, right?
Right.
With y'all, whatever. So I'm not even saying that it's so much infidelity to that extent, but whatever happened, feelings were involved, and it didn't go. That wasn't agreed upon process, or whatever happened. He's hurt by it, or he has feelings behind it. Right. You know what I mean? And it didn't. The expectation wasn't for him to say that. That's not even like, I wouldn't joke and say something like that. Like, but I'm gonna get you back. And she said, you got me back a couple of times already. I don't think I think it's about getting nobody back. So he's like, well, that's true. So, that
was also him taking blame.
Right. It seemed like he was taking blame, but at the same time, it didn't make sense for him just to say something like that, or, in a bad marriage, just like, is your marriage bad? Is that what you're saying? Right? Because that's not a joke either. That's not nothing funny. Bad marriage life, that's not funny. That's like, okay, my thing is, if something's broken, then you can fix it. Are you guys strong enough to get past what happened? And this is what the issue is. It doesn't seem that at this point you can, right? Because now it's mesh. And I think that people don't get the mess of it. There was a Love and Hip Hop. They were doing a counseling session, right? And they would do a counseling session with two people who were married. One was a black couple, the other one was a mixed couple, right? A mixed race couple. And the mixed race couple, they talked about how they got together. They talked about how his family cut him off because she was black and everything like that. And they've been married for years, right? They're up in their 70s or something like that. And I think a question was asked of, how do you guys still stay together or what have you? And they said, well, you have to keep people out of your business. Like you can't, y'all relationship, your ups and your downs, this is your struggle. Y'all together have to make sure that this works. Right. So even when it comes to your parents, you can't run and be telling everybody. And then, I think in a social media age, and it's something I even though this is a YouTube channel and we'll be on Facebook, I think people on social media, they don't want to be valued as good moral people. They want attention, and people are doing anything for attention. Right. They get into a relationship for attention. They break up with somebody for attention. Everything is done for attention, right? But it's not done because, okay, I want to be responsible. I want to value. I want to build. And I think social media, it takes away people's mind from looking at. So now when I'm on social media, if it's not something positive, I don't post. Right? Like Ben is always doing a proverb or Ecclesiastes verse or something like that. A lot of the stuff you post on side social media, I see your posts. You know what I mean? It's like asking questions.
I indulge with a little bit of the ratchetness.
Yeah, but it's a manageable amount, and it's not whatever. But there's people who, if they feel that they're not on social media gaining this level of attention,
right? I get what you're saying.
Right, it's like everything is about trying to get a level of attention.
Everybody want their 15 minutes.
So fame to stretch it, and I think that's what you see on social media is everybody selfing, they taking the video about nothing and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's become where that has become people's medium for them to get that level of attention, and they have to understand that social media to an extent is not real, right? You are not talking to a bunch of people. You're talking to a bunch of people that may look at you, that may look at your posts, or even if they some people sometimes I like stuff just because of who's posting it. I probably never read it. You know what I mean? Or it's a friend of mine that put a video out, whatever, and I just to support. But I think that sometimes we're over glamorized. We're trying to over glamorize ourselves with social media because it gives us this level of attention that you got friends, half of the friends you don't even know. You know what I mean? Business wise, that makes perfect sense. You have an audience, you have somebody a market that you can send stuff to. But then if you're doing it just to get that hit of dopamine. Oh, I got 5 likes on my joint, then what's the point? And I think people are becoming damaged by that. And, this is my opinion. I think your marriage shouldn't be on display. I think the first thing that happens, and Jada and Will probably can't help it because they're two celebrities and they're, he's a super mega star, she's a superstar, and they probably can't help that. But at the same time, what can you do to try your best to make sure that, like I think Jay and Beyonce, we know what Blue Ivy looked like, right? They finally gave some pictures of her and she whatever. But the little twins, I think they had twins, right? The next set, they didn't let their pictures be out there in the media for a while. I think there's something they just want to hold down, like, okay, this is private. This is private. This is, this is us. My babies, whatever. They're not ready for that yet. Let that happen. I think that's a mature route. Some people I probably wouldn't let you see my kids, period. But it happens when they're ready. But this is just my opinion. I just think that sometimes there's too much. Like people are grasping that. And the media can do that to you. It can damage you in that fashion where you feel like you need to take everything to the media. It's what it is. They don't need to know everything. The public don't need to see everything. Some things need to just remain sacred to protect it. You know what I mean? Now, it's your business if you want to do it, but it comes with consequences.
But I think Will and Jada, or Will, I think they're addicted to the fame and the idea of being, at the forefront. Remember, at one point, Will was the go-to, the highest paid grossing action figure or actor, whatever you want to call him. That stopped. Now you got The Rock.
Right. He's the highest, right.
So Will, and then he's been having some bad movies in between.
Right.
I think he had one, the good one with
Bad Boys.
Yeah, Bad Boys that just came out, and the one before that where he was locked up and they had all these misfits with the blonde hair.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that one turned out to that turned out. But before it used to be hit after hit after hit after hit. He wasn't that.
The Gemini Man didn't do well. Yeah,
didn't do well. So I think you're addicted. Then he got his YouTube channel going on.
Yeah,
she got Red Table Talk. The kids is doing crazy, doing stuff here and there. So I think like that fame, you're over 50 now, so it's like you trying to uphold that kind of like wholesome image also, and try to pretend certain things.
Yeah, I think that's out the window now. I think
that's out the window. But I believe that all of that was it's a facade.
Yeah,
like you really living this type of lifestyle, but you put on that you're living over here, but you're really over there.
Right.
And I believe that, that's, I think, they still just together. I think Will he know that half is going to hurt his pockets.
Possibly.
Dr. Dre going through a divorce right now.
Yeah.
And if they said he's worth about 800 million.
She's going to
get. She's getting 400 million.
She wanted
to cut California law. She can get more than that. It's 60-40.
Oh, word?
Wow.
She could get 60%.
Wow.
What California law is that?
That's what the reports are saying. Yeah, she could actually get up to 60%.
Because she's getting. I think she wanted to get spousal support too.
But that would be figured into the.
That's how it gets to be 60-40.
It could be. Yeah, she could get up to 60.
Wow. So his shirt.
There's of course, another subject, but I think with Will and Jada, just the fact that whether that may have been scripted right before they did it, but the fact that they were able to quote simultaneously bad marriage for life,
right?
Is that's something that they already understood that they're going through.
Right.
So they already had in their mind, whether it was at that point or for a while now, that they're just gonna ride it out no matter what. I don't think that divorce or anything like that is the concern on either side. But I think at this point we're just gonna do what we gotta do, stay together, and.
But can they survive this?
Right? I think they're already surviving it.
Okay.
And us sitting down here, we have our opinions. The world has their opinion, but they don't care about what we say because they've been living whatever they've been living for years.
Gotcha.
That's why I said that we might have a different response, but people out there don't even care about
what we have to say
or what they're going through. They're like, that's their business.
Right.
Mind your business. People go through that every day. They're upset with August once again because if you didn't say anything, nobody would ever know. So that's why they're upset with him.
Right.
Because they're blaming him for causing all of this controversy.
Right.
But like I said, that's viewing it from a different eye. But the world that we live in today with social media and everything, things are viewed differently than how we may view things growing up in an age where our celebrities, we don't know much about their personal lives.
Exactly.
And that's how they were able to be successful because we didn't know anything about their personal lives.
Right.
We just knew their career. We focused on their career. They gave us their careers, and that's what made them successful because they kept everything. So that's why, Jay-Z comes from that school of because he's going back to the 80s now in entertainment.
Right.
So he's coming from the era of I'm just here to entertain you. Don't worry about what I'm doing in my private life.
Right.
And it works out for both of them.
Right. Wish we can go on. We got to wrap up. But before we do, business segment. Yosh, I'm looking out. I didn't get my shirt. So Ben, I don't know if he's in the camera. He can show the shirt. He has a Be Strong and Courageous shirt. My brother Yosef. He can be found on Instagram and Facebook. I think you got to look up Be Strong and Courageous. A whole lot of shirts, hats, with the logo. Look for the logo. I think he has a line of them in different languages too.
Yeah, t-shirts, sweaters, hats.
T-shirts, hoodies, hats. Yoshi's promoting it. He's doing it. And go out and get the merch. I'll probably have the link below when this tape airs. So we're going to be pushing it. A lot of stuff is coming to you soon. I got my line coming through too soon, but I'll save that for the next episode. So what you got going on, Ben? I know Homebodies is happening this week.
Yeah, every week. Every Saturday night, Homebodies on Zoom.
We'll put that link down there too.
So everybody could just go to Bassment Entertainment on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You get the details on how you can join us on Zoom every Saturday night. And this next event I'm gonna mention is gonna be, by the time you release this,
right?
Maybe after the fact. But people can go back and watch it. But I have an online event coming up called Black Poet Matters.
So we could still put the link down there.
Yeah. So the link, so the video will still be up there, but that's taking place. People will be able to watch that on the Bassment Entertainment YouTube page. Black poets come together to speak about some of the issues that are happening today.
That's what's up.
This Sunday,
26th.
26th. But by the time this airs,
yeah.
By the time this airs, you won't be able to watch it live, but yeah, you'll be able to see the.
Nah, I won't cut the part out. We need some laughter sometimes. What's good? What's going on?
Well, I got some real powerful interviews coming up on my platform. Everybody know that that's what I do. Those who know that that's what I do, well, right. That's what I do. on my Uzziel Lewi channel on YouTube and also on my Facebook page. I usually post them on both parts. So I have some interviews lined up with some people, and also into some music stuff. Linked up with my brother. When that happens, you know, y'all gonna see. Gonna try to do some music stuff together.
You a brother or another brother?
No, a brother.
Okay.
Y'all gonna see. I'm gonna show it to y'all, and we gonna all make a movement. Okay. You know, we're gonna make a movement together. So I got called into a meeting, and it looks good. Looks like
that's what's up.
Some stuff is.
But you're not letting all of the cat out the bag right now.
No, I'm not letting all the cat. I learned with experience. I've learned that sometimes you just let the process happen, and then when you see it happening, then you will see exactly what is it that's happening. So
cool. So I know you gave your contact information. Same contact information for you, Uzziel Lewi.
Uzziel Lewi, Facebook. Uzziel Lewi, YouTube. I don't have a Instagram.
Use Beanverse.
Yeah, Beanverse. You can reach me at Beanverse on Instagram, but I don't have a personal Instagram.
Cool. So people, subscribe. Click the button down and like the video as well. Trying to do big things, trying to get up and make sure that we bring, you know, some just businesses or whatever's happening to the people outside of the topic that we're discussing. So it's a wrap. Another one down.
Also, if you're looking for professional photos, you can get in contact with Moz, AMOZ, Lewi, LEWI on Facebook. Professional photography, and I think his name is Amos Fire King. What? I believe Chief Moz. Chief Moz on Instagram. Cut that out. So on Instagram, Chief Moz. You can reach out to him if you need professional photographs taken. All types of events.
Cool. So another one down once again. Beanverse. We out. Peace.